All right, so for the next part, we're going to play with a 90-degree angle. Starting with line BA, 90-degree angle, best of your ability. There. And the problem we had the other time is if it's not a perfect 60-degree angle, you will be folding and cutting forever, or pretty close. All right, so polygon time. And like before, fold and cut. Flip it. And okay. So there's my symmetry. Other line. So any flaps need to be cut off. And done. So the final figure has 2 lines of symmetry. And this kind of symmetry is also called point symmetry because we have 180-degree symmetry. So if we rotate it 180 degrees, it's the same shape. Let's see, draw 5 segments that pass through. Let's switch back to the instructions. Draw 5 segments that pass through point B and have their endpoints on the edge of the figure. Okay. I already have 2. Really? Oops. That figure is kind of small for this. B is at the center of each of these endpoints. Screen. There we go. So here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 segments And B is exactly at the center of each of the endpoints of those. All right, bring up new screen. Illustrate this a different way.
I did it that time.
That one worked, yeah, though the right angle is a little bit easier than the other one. Let's see, show grid. And show axes. I messed that one up. Fix that in a minute. All right, how's it going? Everyone got that cut out? Getting there? Just right out?
No, I don't think my line is right.
Okay. Oh, it's just a little bit off. Yeah, so your right angle is just a little bit off, but it's close. Yeah, so here's an example of a figure up here. Ignore those extra lines I drew for a minute. The figure on its own has, if I take the two perpendicular lines to be an x-axis and a y-axis, I have symmetry across the y-axis and I have symmetry across the x-axis. Okay, so this figure has what we call 180 degrees symmetry, because if I rotate it 180 degrees, everything's going to line up again. It's going to be the same figure. Now, the fifth step of this, if you didn't look at it already, you take a look at your activity, says draw 5 segments that pass through point B. Okay. Now, I drew 4 segments. So if we look back at my GeoGebra figure, I have the y-axis is 1, the x-axis is another, and I drew 2 more. So I have 4 right now. And then the thing they ask you is to notice what is true about that middle point B and the endpoints of the segments. And can you make any observations about that? So here's the endpoint of one segment. Here's the other endpoint of the segment. Yeah, so B is in the middle. B is equidistant to the endpoints. Even better than that, this right here, if I look at it on the grid with numbers, this point is the point 1, 3. Okay, and over here I have the point -1, -3. Okay. I'm going to identify this point here. Let's see, settings maybe. Show value. So that's the point -3.7, 1.5. Any guesses at what this point's going to be right here? 3.7, -1.5. Yeah. Yeah, so the point is symmetric, but through the center. Those endpoints are symmetric through the center. Okay, so that's a 180 degree symmetry is what that's called.
Do we have to draw 5 more in addition to the 2 that we already drew, or just 3 more?
Yeah, so you can consider AB one line and BC the other line, and then just draw 3 more. Yeah, just to see that. Yeah, so draw a few more lines through there to kind of get the idea that that's going to work. So So I'll draw one more just for fun. The line right there, the point, and the line. Here. More. Aha. Yeah, so if you pick one point on the edge of your figure and you draw a line through the center, the other end point is going to be the same distance from the center. That's one way to look at 180 degree symmetry. All right, so we are going to stop there, and maybe we'll continue page 3 on Monday next week. Today's Wednesday, right? Okay, so maybe we'll pick up with page 3 next week. So we're just going to do the first 2 pages for now. And I would like you to take a look at activity 6 next. And I'm going to go grab those toys for you. So we're going to ignore page 3 of activity 4 for now.
Do you want us to turn these in with
Yeah, you'll turn those in with that when we're ready to turn that in. But hold off for now. Don't turn it in yet. Because if we have time, we're going to come back to it on Monday. All right, go back. Activity 6. All right, so take a look at activity 6. I'm going to go grab the pattern blocks, and I'll show some online versions of these in just a sec.
Is this space mouse? Like, about the jury. And it freaking gave me these 2 I like never get zips on my feet. Like I always get them right in here, and there's 2 like really it's stupid. I don't know. I suppose it's supposed to be the most power. I saw it on Amazon. I was trying to buy a setting spray. It was really cheap, and it was like 3 by something this small, you buy something else. So it was like this Indonesian, I don't know, some kind of face mask, and you mix it with apple cider vinegar. And it worked really good the very first time I used it, and every other time that I've used it, it's broken out. So I just think it was garbage. It's bizarre.
Good news. I've lost my pattern block, so we're going to call it short today. We'll come back to this activity on Monday.